Test, test, test. Is that me? That's me. It is. Welcome back. And welcome back to our audience, and welcome back to our judges, and welcome back to our listeners out there in live streaming land, or as Ollie calls it, La La Land. So we are judging the illustrative category at the Australian Professional Photography Awards, proudly sponsored by AZO Screens. They've been a great supporter of the AIPP and the APPA Awards, so let's get along and support them. I mean, you all should have an AZO screen anyway. Okay, and of course, a big mention to our platinum sponsors, Olympus, Aeon, and Panasonic. Again, great sponsors of the AIPP and the APPA, and they support us. Let's support them. Okay, so if our judges are ready, and eyes forward, and we will have our next print, please. And we have a score of 84, Silver Award. But wait, folks, there's more. We have a challenge from Ollie Dale on 92. Ollie, please.
Hello, there we go. I gave this a 92, a gold. I found it exquisite printing. I found the story beautiful. I love how the leaves are falling and becoming these butterflies that end up fluttering around her. And the imagination of where this takes me is just exquisite. And I'd love to see this at least a silver distinction. This is craft beyond a low silver. So talk to me.
Adam.
I certainly enjoyed the level of craft and detail that the image presents. I guess I just didn't get a great sort of a lot of communication from it, but I am listening.
Okay, we'll have a chat from Jackie. Thank you very much.
I'm on 82. And I found an issue with the figure belonging to the landscape, the overworked sort of textural area around the outside. It did remind me of a heart, which is reminiscent perhaps of her gesture, which is great. But the lighting on her isn't like the lighting around her. She's too studio lit for me, and she's very cut out looking, particularly around the ear and those areas that possibly could have been dealt with in a better way to bring it up to the silver superior communication, that silver distinction area. That's for me.
Okay, Ollie, your right of reply.
The good thing about the conversation is that it shows that everyone takes something different out of this. To me, I'm not taken out of the imagination of this image by that cut-out nature. I feel that it's part of the particular style of this piece, and sometimes these things take us out, sometimes they keep us in. What I love is that the vignette applies only to the environment she's in, and it hasn't come across her head. I just felt that it was cleverly worked and a beautifully exposed sort of piece of art that has a message, and I loved that. Again, those butterflies that she's maybe the butterfly queen or something. I just get this beautiful story. So it's on the cusp of 84. It's going to get reviewed anyway. Let's bring it up to a silver distinction.
Okay, the challenge has been thrown out there. Print scores 84 by majority. So it will still go for review, and it will still have another chance. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you, judges. Next print, please. And we have a score of 76. And there are no challenges, but we'll call for a comment. 76. Robin, you're on 76.
Yeah, I think there's some professional practice and skill. It's an interesting concept, an interesting statement, perhaps just over-processed.
Okay, thank you. And we'll have our next print, please. And the print score's 76. And again, judges' scores all in the 70s. You can indeed, Adam. Let's have a comment. Thank you.
I didn't feel the heavy texture through the overall image added any great weight to the shot.
Thank you. And it seems to be a bit of a common comment, that overuse of textures. Okay. Thank you very much. Next print, please. And we have a score of 74. Thank you. Adam, you're on 74 if you'd like.
Yeah, I just found the elements to be really floating there. A bit more cohesion would be great.
Okay. Thank you. Next print, please. And the print score's 75. And we'll have a comment from Ollie. Would you like to make a comment, please?
Professionally handled, but the message is so obtuse, and it just doesn't take the finesse into the award range. It's just a little bit hidden.
It may be the missing hand of Jamie Lannister. Okay, we accept that score. Let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 86, a silver with distinction. Who would like to comment? Mark. Thank you.
I think it's a beautifully constructed image and printed exquisitely. The only thing is, I think we were left a little bit. There's a lot to love, but more detail in the story to lead us to go higher in the score. I think would be good.
In the narrative. Thank you very much. We accept that score of 86 and we'll go to our next print, please. And we have a score of 81, silver award. I see a hand in the air. Robin Campbell on 87. Let's have a challenge.
Awesome. I love the obscure nature of this. All the clocks taking off at their different times. The angels going to heaven at different times. 1, 2, 3, 4 as they've all flown off, and we've still got 9, 10, 11 and 12 about to take off into the sky. I love that you can interpret this any way you want, and there's about 1 million stories that can come out of it. I think it's really clever, but I also really enjoy the landscape. It's like you're going in this pathway towards heaven, and it's kind of all soft and painterly and snowy and beautiful. And I mean, the landscape itself, I'd be giving a silver distinction, and then you add all these incredible conceptual elements. I just think it's a really, really interesting little story, and then all the ghosts of trees in the background just ponders so many questions and sends my imagination soaring, and I think that's why I'm on distinction.
Thank you, Robin. And Adam.
I love the top half of the picture, and I really struggle with the bridge and the stream going through it. I just it weighs me down so much I don't get to enjoy the rest of the image.
Any other comments? Certainly, Mark.
For me, it's sort of the continuity of where the elements are and how they've been handled and put together that sort of keeps me back from. Well, I'm down in professional practice, so it's justifying the sharpness of those clock faces going right off into the distance.
A little bit to work with. Well, let's have a writer reply, Rob.
That's right. It's a fantasy image. It's not supposed to be perfect and, you know, aligned and symmetrical. It's not what it's all about. And the foreground being so sharp and focused, that's the grounding. That's the reality. That's you're alive. This is where life is. You cross the bridge, and then you're going into this heavenly world. So it's a conversation between life and grounding and realism, and what comes there on after. And at any moment, you could be over there taking off. It's a real statement on time and life, where you are now, where you could be, and so forth. It's not supposed to make sense. It's a pure piece of fantasy, and that's what I love about it.
Thank you, Robin. Currently, the print sits on 81. Let's have a rescore. Print scores 83. Very solid silver. Thank you. Next print, please. And we have a score of 80. Silver award. Comment, please. Mark?
I think it's a great interpretation of the child's party and all the elements together, and we've been presented in something that, nobody said a photograph had to be sharp. And just the elements that give us and tell us so much of a story.
Thank you for the comments. Okay, let's have the next print, please. And we have a score of 76. And I'll accept that if there's no challenge. No challenge. Thank you. I'll accept that score, but let's have a comment. Robin, you're on 75, near the average.
Yeah, I thought this was a beautiful experiment in terms of photographic and Photoshop techniques. I was just sort of a little lost in terms of the point of it and where it was actually going. So in terms of storytelling and communication, didn't quite get there for me.
Good. Great, thank you. Okay, let's have the next print, please. And the print scores 82, silver award. Do we have a challenge? We do indeed, from Jackie on 87. Thank you, Jackie.
I'd like you to consider a silver distinction on this one. Just beautiful calligraphy of using the body to create a language in 5 layers. That is beyond my comprehension how they make all those positions. But I think the lighting is really clever. The spaces and the choice of poses in all those different levels intrigues me. I think it captures my imagination, and that's what I'm asking it to do for you as it sits here, and you can reconsider maybe a silver distinction with me.
Okay, Mark, thank you.
For me, it was more of an exercise chart. Maybe that's I've been to the gym too many times, I don't know. But one of the things that once I looked across all the shapes and figures and everything else, one of the things that sort of brought it back to professional practice and didn't take it into the next level was some of the inconsistencies in the panels as they've been brought together. They should be. I felt that when they were representing the repetition of the square shape all the way through, that they should have had the same consistency in the shadowing and at least across the bottom, like the bottom one with the upside down with the legs across, where it's a clear white on the bottom, and then some of them have a little bit of black vignetting on the top and things like that. So there's probably not the consistency that I would like to see in an award level.
Is there any other judge who would like to comment? Otherwise, I'll Go back to Jackie. Okay, Robin, thank you.
I'm on 82. I'm going to go up. The more I look at it, the more I appreciate all the different forms and shapes and so forth. I saw it as like a codes and signals chart just straight away as it came around. Maybe it's too many years at Cub Scouts, I don't know. It looked like a codes and signals, and it was pretty amazing to get up there and see all the different forms. I would have been distinction straight away, except for similar reasonings as Mark in terms of the consistency along the base and also along the top. Clean those up, and I think you got a much stronger image. But can't deny it's unique and beautiful. So yeah, I'm moving up.
Jackie.
Robin said unique. That's one of the characteristics of a gold award, and take away some of those technical issues that possibly would have been gold. I'm asking you to give a silver distinction because of that creativity, the idea, and I feel if it was all consistent through there with the same tones, that we wouldn't have a repetition, like some breaks, and I think there's giving some break. So maybe a place to rest the eye. If it was all uniform, then it might be just flow too much. 87.
Okay, thank you, judges. Let's rescore. $85, silver with distinction. Okay, let's go to the next print, please. And we have a score of 71. Yes, please, Adam, a comment.
I was desperately hoping to be rewarded with wonderful detail and sharpness, and because the lighting is stunning. So revisit this, focus, stack it, whatever you need to do to get right the way through. What a beautiful.
Thank you, Adam. Next print, please. And the print score is 78. We accept that score. Thank you. And let's call on a comment. One of our judges who are on 78, Robin or Jackie. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah, from a distance, there's a really beautiful artistic quality going through this. And when you get up close, unfortunately, when you can see the flips, and some of the flips aren't perfectly aligned, and then the detail's just not there in the flowers themselves. So it's a near miss, but it's a great concept.
Thank you very much. Next print, although I believe that is the end of the illustrative category. So let me say thank you to our judges, thank you to our entrants, thank you to our audience, thank you to those listening to us in La La Land. Thank you to all our print handlers out the back and my assistants here. We are going to do the reviews next, so we just need to bear with us for a few moments till the other rooms are finished, so if you can stay here. Also, I remind the judges that we need to pick our judges for the category PPY, so we'd ask you after the reviews to still hang back just a little bit while we make our final list. So thank you all very much, and particularly thank you to Ozo for being the sponsor of this category. Fantastic screens. Get out there and purchase one of those screens. Twin screens, that's what all the judges are saying. They must be rich. So we'll just have a short break while we wait for our reviews. Thank you. judging. Okay, judges, are we ready? I will call on the first print. This print has scored 79. Is it worthy of a silver award? And it remains at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Does it go up to silver with distinction? Unanimous. Silver with distinction. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Does it go up to the silver award? And it remains as 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Is it worthy of silver with distinction? And it remains at 84. Thank you. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Does it receive a silver award? Remains at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print also has scored 79. Should it be a silver award? And it remains at 79. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Is it a silver with distinction? And it goes up to silver with distinction. Thank you. Next print, please. This print also has scored 84. Is it worthy of silver with distinction? Yes, it does. Silver with distinction. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Is it worthy of a silver award? And it remains at 79. Thank you. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Is it a silver with distinction? Unanimously. Silver with distinction. Next print, please. This print has scored 79. Does it go up to silver award? Silver award on 80. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Silver award. Does it go up to silver with distinction? Unanimous. Silver with distinction. Next print, please. Also 84. Looking for silver with distinction. Yes or no? Remains at 84. Next print, please. This print has scored 84. Does it go up to silver with distinction? Three-two split. It goes up to silver with distinction. Thank you. And the next print, please. Print has scored 84. Looking for a silver with distinction. Yes or no? Unanimous. Silver with distinction. And our next print, please. This printer scored 79. Do we have a silver award? It remains at 79. Thank you, judges. And I believe that is the last print in this room for this year. Thank you all very, 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 very much. Now, our judges, we'll get you to meet up in judging room number 5. Okay? Thank you very much. I'll come up with you anyway. Goodbye to all our audience. Goodbye to everyone listening out there in Cyberland. We hope you enjoyed our commentary. We want to thank our sponsors, our platinum sponsors in particular, Olympus, Aeon, and Panasonic. And of course, our sponsor for the illustrative category, ASO Screens. Thank you very much. Yay. Signing off.